So, the Kitty Academy of Clear Lake, located in Houston, fired this sister for teaching her kindergarten students a little bit about Black history. Take a look.
I was let go because I taught my kids about Black History Month, and the parents did not like it. What I simply taught my students were I taught them about slavery, the in between, and Black history, but why we celebrated Black history. Nothing was, what's the word? Inappropriate. They didn't see anything inappropriate. Literally, all they saw in the videos was MLK, his speeches, the marches, Rosa Parks on the bus, her mugshot, and all of that spanned it in like a 2 minute video, like each. So throughout of me teaching about Black History Month, I gave my students definitions to remember, and I sugarcoated it and made it super, super kid friendly. I gave them segregation, discrimination, boycott, civil rights activists, racism. For instance, I was segregation. I told them, I was just like, yes, segregation is when two people are separated based on the color of their skin. Nothing I taught them was any different of what I taught my students the year before with no problems. I received a text Friday from the assistant director asking what all I was doing because they complained about my definition terms. I don't know about you. I just find it impossible to teach about Black history without adding those terms. So I get pulled into the office today, and she was like, parents every day been coming to her. They demand to see what videos. Their kids are scared, having nightmares. I instilled into them fear and disgust, and they don't want to be no other color. And I was just like, how? When that's not what I taught them, didn't have anything to do with that. I taught them that you are friends with all types of shades of people, no matter what. I find it really unbelievable that they let me go because the topic of the main situation, regardless, was the parents complaining about how I was teaching Black history and that I was teaching it, period, honestly.
So, a couple of things actually really landed on me with what this sister said. One of which she mentioned that she had taught this the year prior and there was no issue. This year, she mentioned that there were like diverse groups of students, which suggests to me that the class this year probably had more of the folks in there. Because if we think about it, who really has a problem with students being taught about Black history, right? It's the folks. Now, these folks are complaining and saying that their children are traumatized and their children are having nightmares. All of these things to me that sounds exactly like something the folks would say. These children are 5. Okay? This teacher wasn't giving them an in-depth lesson on Black history. She was very kid friendly in the way that she was delivering the information about Black history, and they had an issue with definitions. She also talks about that and how it was really just talking about Black people versus white people and what happened and how, there was some segregation. If the school had a problem, very simple. Why don't you just go sit in and see exactly what she's doing? Because again, it wasn't an issue the year prior. So, what she was doing, if it was that traumatizing to the children, and if the parents had this much of an issue, go sit down and see exactly what she's doing. It's clear to me what's going on here. These parents, they just are not comfortable with their children learning about Black history. We hear it all the time. They feel like, it's not fair to these kids because they're not the ones responsible for what went on with Black people. Listen, Black history is world history, okay? We are a part of this world. Our history matters. We can't keep going through life with our heads in the sand and only teaching about the history of Christopher Columbus because that's not realistic. It's time that all children learn about our contributions to this world. And this is why we as Black people need our own schools. So we don't have to deal with any more of this. We can have our students in schools taught by our people so that they can learn the truth about what really has happened with Black people and all of the contributions that Black people have offered to society. Let me know what you all think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content.